Welcome back to the deep dive, and welcome to the DRS zone. We are strapping in for what promises to be, well, the most dramatic, spectacular, and potentially coldest race weekend of the entire 2025 calendar.
We are, of course, talking about Las Vegas.
Exactly. This isn't just some glamorous stop on the tour. It's the penultimate race. It's a high-stakes championship crucible where, one slip, one moment of cold tire chaos could decide everything.
The tension is just huge right now.
Our mission today is absolute. We are doing a complete deep dive. We're going to analyze the unique, high-risk challenges of the Las Vegas Strip Circuit.
We'll break down the technical nightmare of the cold.
And most importantly, we are calculating the mathematical reality of this title fight.
And you have to remember the history here, which I think a lot of people forget amidst all the neon.
Right.
This is only the third Grand Prix on the circuit, but it's actually the fifth time Formula One has raced in Vegas.
The old Caesar's Palace races, right, in the parking lot.
Exactly, back in the early 80s. And the irony is, those were some of the hottest races F1 ever had.
From the hottest to potentially the coldest ever, what a swing. So speaking of stats, what defines this current track?
Well, the stats are actually fascinating. They show just how competitive it is. Right now, the pole position record is split.
Between who?
Charles Leclerc and George Russell. One pole each, 2023 and 2024.
Okay.
And the race wins. They follow the exact same pattern. One for Max Verstappen and one for George Russell.
So that Mercedes 1-2 last year was no fluke. This is their track.
It really is. You'd have to call it their feud, their stronghold.
Well,
the expectations for them this weekend are huge.
Okay, let's dive into the specifics of the track itself. It gets a lot of criticism for its layout, all the 90-degree corners and massive straights.
And it has that bizarre nickname, the Spider Pig Reversed.
Yeah, what does that even mean?
It's really not a compliment about its beauty.
Yeah.
If you look at the track map and trace the outline, it forms this rough, distorted shape that engineers started calling the Spider Pig.
Right.
But nicknames aside, this 6.2-kilometer circuit is just defined by relentless speed.
And Lando Norris has the fastest lap, a 1.34.876 from last year, which is pretty amazing considering his huge crash in 2023. So where are the main danger spots?
The immediate challenge is turns 1 and 2. Right from the start. The tires are impossibly cold on the outlap.
It saw that in 2023. It was a festival of trompos, just spins everywhere.
Exactly. It's low grip, high risk right from the get-go. Then T5 is your first real overtaking spot, the first DRS braking zone. After that, you've got T7 and T8, that slow, twisty bit right next to the sphere before it opens up again.
But the speed on the strip is one thing. The braking zones after are terrifying. Let's talk about the danger zone at turn 12.
Turn 12 is, it's arguably the most dangerous point on the entire calendar.
Okay, why?
Think about it.
Yeah.
Drivers are coming in at around 310 kilometers per hour.
310?
And they have to brake violently down to about 99 while turning into the corner.
That combination is just brutal.
It's borderline impossible. That massive braking load and the turning load on tires that are always too cold.
And that's exactly where Norris had his enormous crash in 2023. Lost it on cold tires. So what are the peak speeds we're talking about on that main straight?
On the strip straight, with the DRS wide open, the speed trap is reading a phenomenal 346 kilometers per hour.
Wow.
Yeah, and all of that speed culminates in that main overtaking complex, T14, T15, and T16. It's a track that just demands you run low downforce, but then it punishes you instantly for it.
And that blistering speed is coupled with, well, the biggest technical challenge of the year, the extreme cold. A race start at 8 p.m., predicted ambient of 13 degrees Celsius.
This could absolutely be the coldest F1 race ever held.
Which brings us straight to the problem of cold graining.
Right. This is a bit technical, but it's so critical for the strategy. Cold graining it's a very specific thing.
So break it down. What is it?
Okay, so normally when you push a tire, little bits of rubber get left on the track. But when it's this cold, the asphalt doesn't heat up, and the rubber itself is less elastic.
So it doesn't come off.
Exactly. Instead of detaching, those little fragments stick back onto the tire tread. They form these uneven clumps. It's literally like grating cold cheese onto the surface of your tire.
And that just causes a catastrophic loss of grip.
A total disaster for grip.
So even though Pirelli brought the softest tires again, C3, C4, C5, the cold asphalt just completely messes with them.
It completely nullifies what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
The graining was so bad in 2024 that the winning strategy was a two-stop. Most teams went medium hard.
Which seems crazy, losing 20 seconds in the pits.
But drivers were losing so much more time on the track with those graded tires. A pit stop was actually faster. But what's amazing is that even with all that chaos, Vegas had the most overtakes of the 2024 season, 60 in total.
So the chaos actually creates opportunity.
It really does.
Okay, so Pirelli's demands are high traction stress, high speed stress, both 4 out of 5. But then you need low aero grip, like Monza wings. And track evolution is a perfect 5 out of 5. The surface will change constantly. And if you're watching this on YouTube, welcome to the DRS zone. We appreciate you tuning into the deep dive. And don't forget to subscribe for more F1 content, especially with these last 2 races coming up.
So let's talk numbers, because this is where the title fight really gets decided. We should frame this with some performance data first. According to the Soy Computer predictions for race pace.
Okay, wait, what is the Soy Computer?
It's a proprietary simulation model.
Yeah.
A lot of data analysts in the paddock use something like it. It predicts Red Bull will be the fastest car on absolute pace.
Right, but I saw that the Soy Computer also says Mercedes is predicted to be the best team for this circuit. What's the difference?
That's the critical distinction. Fastest car is raw pace. Red Bull. Best team factors in things like consistency, strategy, and tire management.
All the things Mercedes nailed here last year.
Exactly. Vegas is a track that can neutralize a raw power advantage and rewards the team that can manage the cold graining.
Okay, so let's focus on Max Verstappen. The pressure on him is just immense right now.
He is one bad race away from being mathematically eliminated before the finale. After Vegas, there are only 58 points left. Max has to keep that deficit at 58 or less to stay in it.
So what are the key scenarios? What does Lando need to do to knock Max out?
If Lando Norris wins the race, takes the 25 points, Max is eliminated if he finishes third or worse.
Third or worse, okay.
If Norris finishes second, Max has to finish sixth or better. Otherwise, he's out. Even if Norris only finishes fifth, a 10th place or worse for Max seals it.
So it's not just about winning for Lando. Max has to stay right there with him.
He absolutely has to keep him in his mirrors.
And on top of all that, you have the commentary from outside. Zach Brown was very critical, calling Max too aggressive, noting his arrogance. Is that just mind games?
Oh, that 100% a calculated psychological move. Zach is trying to inject external pressure, destabilize his focus at the worst possible moment.
And that tension spills right into the McLaren garage. Vegas is historically their worst track. Norris's best finish is only 6th, and we know Piastri has called these conditions his worst nightmare.
Yet, the internal stakes have never been higher. If Lando Norris gains just one single point on Oscar Piastri this weekend,
Just one.
1 point, the championship will then be mathematically in Norris's hands in Qatar.
How does 1 point lock it up?
It's all about the tiebreak rule. If they finish on the same points, the title goes to the driver with more wins,
Which is Lando.
So if he gets one more point ahead, Piastri can't overcome both the points gap and the win count in that final race. It's basically checkmate.
Meanwhile, the constructors' battle for second is heating up. Mercedes expects to be strong, obviously. Toto Wolff even joked he wanted the exact same car as last year.
But Ferrari is just under immense fire. They're fourth, 36 points behind Mercedes after that disaster in Brazil. The pressure from Maranello is at a breaking point.
Yeah, that comment from John Elkann was brutal.
Incredibly blunt, telling Leclerc and Hamilton to talk less and drive more. That kind of public criticism tells you the tolerance for failure right now is 0.
Wow, so that's the pressure at the front. But we can't ignore the chaos brewing down the grid. Let's do a quick rapid fire on some of the surprising off-track news. Starting with Alpine, last place, but with a special livery.
The huge story there is the industrial espionage attempt at their engine HQ in Viry-Châtillon on November 10th.
Right.
2 people broke in, forced doors, went straight for the administrative offices, then escaped. Police think it was information theft.
But why the administrative offices, not the engine lab?
That's the key point. It suggests they weren't after 2025 engine blueprints. They were probably hunting for high-level strategy, contracts, financial documents. It's more of a corporate raid than a technical one.
F1 really is a spy novel sometimes. Okay, next up, Sauber. Special checkerboard livery for them.
We have to talk about the Destructor Championship. Sauber has unfortunately taken the lead. Gabriel Bortoleto has racked up an astonishing 3.6 million euros in damage.
3.5 million.
Over 3.5 million. The Brazil sprint crash alone was over 2 million of that. That is an eye-watering amount of money.
That's a development budget just gone. That has to hurt the Audi transition plan.
Absolutely. And speaking of Audi, their engine development is paused right now to begin construction of the new facility. The target is still to be title contenders, but not until 2029 or 2030. They're playing the long game.
Okay, Haas has been climbing thanks to that new aero package. And here's a wild stat. Oliver Bearman has scored the same number of points as Oscar Piastri in the last 2 races. 20 points.
It shows how much potential is in that package. But their technical director, Andrea Di Zordo, has a huge concern about the 2026 active aero rules.
What's the worry?
He's worried that teams might have completely miscalculated the downforce needed. If they get it wrong, it could ruin the entire first season of the new era for a lot of teams.
Aston Martin, predicted to be 9th fastest this weekend, which sounds awful.
It is a low prediction, but there's a salvaguard here. Aston struggles on what we call high compromise tracks.
Meaning tracks that need a bit of everything, like Baku or Spa.
Exactly, balancing high speed and low speed. But Vegas is more like a low compromise track, closer to Monza, where they were stronger. So they might do better than predicted.
And finally, Racing Bulls. The drama over that second seat for 2026 is intense.
It's completely up in the air. Liam Lawson is currently 8 points ahead of Yuki Tsunoda in the standings. And at the same time, there's a lot of skepticism in the paddock about promoting Arvid Lindblad. They're saying he lacks experience and his results in F2 are declining.
What a weekend this is shaping up to be. You have Max Verstappen 1 bad race away from elimination, Mercedes hunting for second in the Constructors, and the title hanging by a single point for the McLaren drivers.
It's a perfect storm of cold asphalt, high speed, and just unbelievably high tension.
It really is.
And that raises the ultimate question for you, the listener, to think about. Given that these cold, low-grip conditions have historically been a problem for McLaren, and their internal title fight is now down to a single point, will the unique characteristics of this track, the cold graining, the temperature swings, will they finally expose a critical weakness in that championship contending car and become the single deciding factor in the 2025 World Championship?
It all comes down to the cold cheese on the tires.
Exactly.
We cannot wait to find out. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Make sure you subscribe and follow the DRS Zone for all the F1 action and analysis. We'll talk to you after the flags wave in Vegas.